Ghost of Courage just released that we already have every detail about the new expansion of World of Warcraft Midnight revealed at Gamescon, and there had been 1 week full of content about it, with content creators video, developers interviews, panels and all kind of things, and the information is pretty scattered. Don't worry, I am gathering everything here in a very long and solid and detailed and complete video just for you. I hope it's going to be informative. Hi everyone, I'm Elloa. I'm a content creator and a World of Warcraft player since 2005, and in this video I will be entering in depth in the Midnight reveal, giving you every information you need to know. I am very excited about the new expansion Midnight, and I hope you are too. I spent a great deal of time trying to gather all information I could to make a very solid and very informative video. So this is going to be pretty long, but it's separated by chapters, so if there's something particular that interests you, you can jump right to it or come back to some things if you want to rewatch it to have more details about it. So I really did my best to provide you accurate information, because the information out there had been a little bit chaotic, scattered and all over the place. So hopefully this is a good video that you will enjoy. Do not hesitate, if you like it and if you think it was nice, to share it with your friends and your communities. Thank you so very much. After the event of the War Within, Xal'atath is in possession of the Dark Heart, an ancient artifact in which she absorbed magic and power of different sources. With that object, her innate power and her usual cunning, she can now claim what she deemed hers, Azeroth. She's launching her void force onto the island of Quel'Danas with the goal of capturing the Sunwell. The Blood Elves' armies, led by Lor'themar Theron and Lady Liadrin, Blood Knight Matriarch, are holding the defense of the city. Thanks to Liadrin's faith and call for help, the Army of the Light is arriving in support. Players will start their adventure in Eversong Woods to defend Silvermoon against the assault of Xal'atath's forces. Then 3 choices will be proposed. Players can continue their journey through Zulaman, Harandar, or follow Arator in his quest to understand the light better, by revisiting places of the old world, such as Light Chapel. All those stories convey to Voidstorm next. The campaign brings players through dungeons, delves and raids, a narration plan that Blizzard can follow through since they introduce Followers Dungeon and Story Mode raids, allowing solo and casual players to complete the story on their own. So the plot is no surprise, the void versus the light. This is illustrated in all kind of manner, and how fitting in our time and space. Xal'atath is still our beloved villain, and we will meet different characters that we have not seen for a long time, such as Lor'themar, Lady Liadrin, Tyralion, Alleria, their son Arator, Orwena, and much more. Maria and Milton confirmed that we will also meet some other characters, such as Thrall, maybe even Sylvanas in some fashion. That being said, I do believe that we are not going to meet Sylvanas like Sylvanas coming back from the Shadowland, but rather meet some of her memories, maybe in the Windrunner Spire, or maybe a Lore Show Walker story, telling the story about her past. I think this is more in that fashion that we'll meet Sylvanas. But this is just my opinion. Eversong Woods and part of Ghostland have been remodeled to offer a beautiful, large land, bringing back the nostalgia of the Blood Elf starting zone released during Burning Crusade. Players will be delighted to recognize places and buildings that have been restored, enhanced, improved, while keeping the original autumnal and mesmerizing atmosphere. Years have passed on Azeroth and the land have changed. The scar, memories of the Scourge invasion, have healed. but some other dangers than the Void are looming. Silvermoon has been entirely recreated, and its glorious beauty serves now as the player hub. 2 tiers are shared among Horde and Alliance, and 1/3 is Horde only. The old 10-man raid from Burning Crusade is now a full zone for players to explore. The civilization of the Amani Trolls is facing new challenges with the invasion of the Void forces, the loss of their fate in their Elloa, and the aftermath of past conflicts with the Blood Elves. Let's dive deep underground where all the roots of the World Tree intertwine, in the land of the Haranir. Through a forest of luminescent mushrooms, lush vegetation, and the ever-present roots, players will be able to finally discover more of the Haranir and their purpose. This is a land beyond Azeroth, a realm of the Void where Xal'atath hold their bastion. This is a harsh and chaotic land with different laws and physics, terrible storms and dangers. The armies of the light seek to besiege Xal'atath's fortress and ensure the end of her reign. We will find in each zone dungeons, delves, and world events. The world events are meant to be different and offer a variety of playstyle for all kind of player or mood. For example, the Silvermoon Court is a reputation event, a little bit in the style of the Scryer and the Algor. Was it the Algor? Don't remember. Anyway, you know what I mean. The Zulaman Abundance is more focused on gathering. Don't worry, even if you're not a gatherer, you can participate. It will be a question of offering some gathering to the Elloa of Abundance. For that, there will be caves of abundance that will open up where you can grab all kind of material there. And if you are a gatherer, you might find some bonuses for yourself. There is also caves of abundance all over the 4 zones. Legend of the Haranir offer players the possibility to use some mural painting to embark on bite-sized lore journeys. So very exciting for players that love lore. And those that prefer a little bit of action, let's go to Voidstorm for the Stormarion Assault, which are event where you need to defend the Singularity Anchor against waves of enemies. So very exciting and action-packed. And now that we're speaking about the world event, let's speak about the very new feature of this expansion. Prey is a new dynamic open world activity. Players get a contract from Alastor Bloodsworn in Murder Row in Silvermoon City, choosing their zone, the difficulty, normal, hard, nightmare, and their target. A game of cat and mouse ensues. Players can track their prey, but it will be elusive and sometimes ambush back at any moment during your usual activities. In normal difficulties, other players may engage with the player in their final face-to-face with their target. But in hard and nightmare mode, the players will have to handle the battle alone in a secluded area. This new feature is ideal for players that want to spice up the adventure, players that enjoy to do the world content. Some people really love that, love questing, love gathering things, love to hunt for secrets. This will be really good. You can opt in and out, obviously. Once you have a contract, you may be the target of an ambush at any time. So quite exciting, especially if you take the nightmare mode, because this is going to be quite challenging. Not as challenging as a nemesis per se, but very close to it, so stay on your toes. The reward includes gear, mount, cosmetics, and housing item. This activity will also count for the open world row in your vault, so competing with delves. 8 new dungeons and 10 delves, plus the Nemesis lair can be found in the 4 new zones of Midnight. More than ever, dungeons and delves will be an integral part of the story. Some dungeons are well-known places, such as Murder Row in Silvermoon City, the Magister Terrace, or the Windrunner Spire, where we may learn more about the Windrunner sisters. In Den of Nalorak, players will meet the Elloa of War, and in the Maesara Cavern, free the White Bark abducted by the Vilebranch tribe. The Blending Vial is a dungeon in Haranir. Voidstorm has 2 dungeons, Voidscarve Arena, which give me a feel of Theatre of Pain, and the story culminates in Nexus Point Xenas. Contrary to other Mythic season, all the dungeons will be available as Mythic 0 for the pre-season period. After that, it will be like before, 4 new dungeons of the expansion and 4 fan favorites, and it will be rotating through the Mythic seasons. Blizzard has been learning a lot regarding the Delve, which was a key feature for the War Within expansion. They receive a lot of feedback from the player and they know what was working and what was not working. So they took all those lessons to create 10 new Delve. Lots of delves will be outdoor space, which means that we will be able to use our ground mount, which is nice because the ground mount often are not really useful anymore, so that will be good. Valeria Sanguinar will be the new player companion through the Delph's new expansion. She will be pretty different both in gameplay and in personality. She will have a different vibe, a little bit more serious, less goofy. That being said, I think I will miss Bran. I'm very curious to see those delves, to visit them and to discover the different scenarios that will happen and the world building as well. I noticed that through the expansion, Blizzard have already been taking feedback in account and create delve in a very different way, so I think they will be doing a really good job. So in any case, I think that the delve has been a fantastic addition and it's nice that it's continued and pursued and explored further. In the first season of Midnight, players will pursue the campaign through 3 different raids. The first one, the Vodspar, will contain 6 bosses to fight. The events that happen there will lead us to the Marsh of Quel'Danas for 2 extra bosses. This raid will be released a few weeks apart from the first raid. And then a standalone 1 boss raid, the Dream Rift. It has been a very long time that World of Warcraft has not released several raids at once. I think the last time was probably in Wrath of the Lich King, or we had another expansion with 3, maybe Mist of Pandaria. So a very long time. And this is quite exciting, not only for the developers, even to it give them more work, it allows them to explore the story and to make the story more exciting by allowing us to explore different places that make sense for the lore. It's also nice to have different environments, different places, different atmosphere. I think this is something Blizzard is very good at. In general, through a full expansion we have 3 very different raids, and it will be exciting to have 3 different raids at once. For guild and communities, it's also exciting because a guild can organize themselves in different way, depending the group they have with. And to have a standalone raid with 1 boss like Onyxia, I think that's really great. I remember that I really enjoyed to do my Malygos run in Wrath of the Lich King. That was really cool. And lastly, since the story mode allow any kind of player to experience the story fully without having to rely on a group, it's much easier for Blizzard to intertwine the stories with the raids themselves. It gives them an excuse, they can do it now without refrain. The Haranir are the ancient guardian of the root ways. They are elusive, keep to their ways strictly, and tend to not venture in the outside world. They have a very strong connection with their goddess, which we suppose to be Azeroth, but it's not confirmed. Orwena, which we met in the War Within, is one of the youngest Haranir, and has a particularly strong connection with the goddess. This allied race can be unlocked while completing the campaign of Midnight as the players finish the story arc in Arendar. It's very important to point out that this allied race will not be available at the release of Midnight right away. Players will need to unlock it in the same fashion that we had to unlock the Earthen. Haranir can be played as warrior, monk, rogue, hunter, priest, shaman, warlock, mage, and druid. Druid form has not been fully shared, but the bear form will apparently be a pangolin. Russel for Haranir are active AoE ability, summoning roots that heal allies or damage enemies, passive crit strike bonus, passive healing bonus, aberration and elemental bonus, increased damage given or reduced damage received, and route-based fast travel. I am very excited by the Haranir. I mean, we were hoping to have them during the War Within, we were hoping to discover more about them in the War Within, but I find that it makes sense to see them later on, especially if we need to save the world against the void. I mean, they will have a role to play here. So, pretty excited to discover their culture and to be able to play one. The character customization seems really cool, and I've decided I will make a Resto Druid Haranir, so I can have my Sandalar Druid Guardian and then a Haranir Healer Druid. It sounds that it's going to be a great idea. Demon Hunter are finally receiving a third spec suggested by several quests, interaction between NPCs, and a boss fight in the Manaforge Omega Red. Since then, the community had been speculating about this possible new specialization and were overjoyed at the midnight reveal. Wood Elves will now also be able to become Demon Hunters. If you are Horde, don't be jealous, it has been confirmed that later on Horde will also have a special class race combo that will make sense with the story as the story is being told. My bet is on Undead Paladin. The Devourer spec is a void-based mid-range caster spec. The different abilities include Void Metamorphosis, a form that the player must sustain through gathering soul fragments. The longer the form is maintained, the more potent the damage becomes. Reap, a core sight attacks that consume soul fragments. Void Ray, a piercing beam of void energy. Collapsing Star, a powerful finisher whose potency increases the more often you cast it while in metamorphosis. A new hero talent tree has been added to Demon Hunter, Annihilator. This talent tree is shared between Devourer and Vengeance, while Scarred, previously Fell-Scarred, is shared between Devourer and Havoc. I don't play Demon Hunter, I'm not planning to, so I don't really care about this new spec, but I think it's really cool for the people that do care, but also the way Blizzard introduced and hinted about the new class, the new spec. People were so excited, so speculating, and then it was true. I think that was such a great way of teasing people and making them, will it be true? Will it not? Maybe, maybe not. You know, that's really nice surprises. So good job with that, Blizzard. Players will be leveling up to 80 and will have access to new talents points to distribute between the class, specialization, and the hero talent trees. Hero talents have 4 rows of talent to choose from, and the specialization tree will offer an apex talent that can be upgraded 4 times and should be very desirable. Being a new player in an MMORPG such as World of Warcraft, with 20 years of content to explore, so many different systems, and the chronology of stories that are often difficult to follow, can be a very daunting experience. Similarly, returning to World of Warcraft after a couple of years of absence can be overwhelming. Blizzard is well aware and worked hard to solve that. The Exile Reach experience is an introduction scenario meant to explain to new players the functionalities of the game. It has been introduced with Battle for Azeroth and has been revisited and revamped for Midnight. Now, the expedition lost on the Exile Reach will be led directly to the Dragon Isle to allow players to continue the leveling experience in the expansion Dragonflight. This expansion has also been revisited and now proposes all red in story mode. This should lead the players to level 70 and to the War Within expansion. I really hope that the chronology of the quest in Dragonflight will be easier to find out, because when I leveled my character through Dragonflight at the end of the expansion, I really had a hard time to understand properly in which order I had to make them. So this is an improvement that I hope Blizzard have made, and if not, will do in the future. I also hope that the leveling experience is a little slower, because it would be nice if players could experience the whole expansion, the whole story, instead of finishing everything in 1.5 zones. So we will see about that. This is something I want to test because I think it is so important for the future of the game. A condensed campaign of the War Within will be available. This shortened campaign will take players to all major plot points and all cinematics from the fall of Dalaran to Karesh. This should take a couple of hours, allowing players to catch up rapidly before midnight. Here I hope the catch-up with the War Within is optional, and that the players that want to have the full experience will be able to easily choose that rather than the fast-paced summary. I think the summary is great. It's really nice for the people that don't have the time and they just want to start with their friends, or for people that just want to refresh, they have already done the campaign, they just want to do it again just before midnight to really get all detail back in their mind. Or with an alt, maybe you don't want to skip entirely, but you would like to have a summary version. So I think as long as it's optional and the other possibility is still there, it's a brilliant idea. Lastly, for returning players, a campaign in Arati Highlands have been created. Players will get a new set of armor, get their quest log and inventory cleared, so they can, led by Thrall or Jaina, catch up on the game systems and stories. This series of quests allowing them to take their foothold back in the game can be interrupted at any moment. Welcoming new players and returning players, it's so important for World of Warcraft, so I'm glad that Blizzard is taking active steps in that direction. World of Warcraft is a very old game, and the community of World of Warcraft is aging and have less time to play. It's nice if we can bring in new blood, and World of Warcraft can be very impressive for new player. They want to try, but at the same time they're a little bit scared, or when they try they get lost. I've heard so many friends of mine that tried World of Warcraft and just could not get back into it because it was too complex, even guided by friends. For returning player, it's a little bit the same story. Maybe you have not played the game for 10 years and you would like to come back, but the game is so different, so vastly different. There's so many new systems, so many new classes, new stories, that it's overwhelming. So good job Blizzard on that regard, and I hope you will finely tune those experiences to ensure that they're really efficient. In a similar mindset, Blizzard is introducing Training Grounds, a revamped and permanent version of the old Comp Stomp mode. It's designed specifically as a practice environment that helps players hone their PvP skills by facing off against AI-controlled bots. The key goals are to familiarize players with battleground mechanics and class versus class interaction before diving into real PvP combat with very excellent talented players that are going to destroy you otherwise. The Training Ground is a permanent mode and rotates between 3 well-known battlegrounds: Arati Basin, Silver Shard Mines, and Battle for Gilneas. As we're speaking about PvP, let's introduce the new epic battleground, Slayer Rise. Slayer Rise is situated in Voidstorm, in an area of the zone specifically designed for open-world PvP. Players will find world quests to complete in war mode for maximum of rewards. But this area is also an instance 40-man epic battleground, reminiscent of Alterac Valley and Isle of Conquest. A structured, objective-focused arena where teams clash, capturing bases and strategically pushing towards the enemy Dominor commander to claim victory. During the presentation, Blizzard have assured the community that they actually do care of the PvP community, and they understand that PvP is very intimidating for new players because they get wrecked. Let's be honest, it's not fun for no one. They realize that some players that enjoy PvP in other games don't dare to try PvP in World of Warcraft, and so the PvP community can never be renewed, and they need new players, new blood to spread again a vibrant and beautiful community with active events. I'm quite intrigued, and I must confess that I'm tempted to try PvP myself. It's been a long time. Blizzard had already introduced new key interface features supposed to replace most popular add-ons in the War Within. They continue in that direction, adding 3 new key features: damage meters, boss alerts that include timelines of major abilities, and improved nameplates. Blizzard will continue to polish and add more functionalities to their interface to allow players to rely on Blizzard information instead of being forced to download add-ons to play the game efficiently. I cannot underline how much I'm happy that Blizzard is doing that. I've never enjoyed to install add-ons. Sometimes I force myself to fit my guild requirement or whatnot. I think this will not only make things easier and more accessible for all players, especially new player or casual player that don't spend their life on Reddit to see what best add-on they should install on their computer. But then it's also make the game more fair. Everyone will have access to the same information, so it's a lot more just. And it will also allow the developers to develop the game without having to think about what weak aura players are going to install to cheese the combat. The transmog feature will also see a solid revamp, and it is quite interesting and very logical actually. So instead of adding your transmog to a specific item and having to pay for it every time, now you will compose your costume, your transmog, per slot, meaning that every time you will change your headpiece, for example, you don't have to apply your transmog anymore. It's just going to happen. This will be so convenient, and it works exactly like the transmog system works in Diablo 4 at the moment. In addition, it will also be possible to set up outfits for specific activities, for example, like entering a city, going into your home, doing tour red, or changing spec. I am certainly going to use that, so when I'm raiding and if I'm in my mythic spec, I will know immediately. Housing is probably the most anticipated feature for World of Warcraft Midnight. Players have been requesting it for decades. Blizzard is finally offering a very robust housing system, compiling everything players were hoping for and more. Not only players will be able to own their little home in Azeroth and decorate it with a very robust decorating system, but players will share neighborhoods with other players, making the system inherently social and ideal for guilds, communities, and role players. Housing will be released before midnight, in the very last patch of the War Within, patch 11.2.7. And the players that own Midnight, that have pre-ordered it, will have access to the housing system right away, while the players that have not yet pre-ordered Midnight will already be able to collect all their furniture items. And there is a lot of work to do, because old achievements will grant the furniture, if they were offering a furniture, retrospectively. So you can already work on your achievement to be sure to have a maximum of furniture to start with when Midnight will release. What's very interesting is that the neighborhood system that includes the social hub, the event, and the Renault system will only be released with Midnight itself, during the pre-patch probably. Midnight expansion is speculated to be released during the spring 2026. You can already pre-order it to ensure your early access to housing and to get some nice rewards. So the base edition is €50, $50, gets you the expansion, Prior Saga of course, level 80 boost, early housing access, and 500 trader standard to use in the trading post. The Heroic Edition, €70, add more trader standard, a flying mount, and a transmog set. And the Epic Edition for €90 includes highest amount of currency, multiple mounts, pets, decor, transmog set, beta and early access, including 3 days early, plus 30 days of subscription time. My opinion is like either you choose the base edition or the Epic Edition. I don't really see the advantage of the Heroic Edition. I mean, if you want the mount, take the Epic one. You have a 1 month of subscription and early access, which I think are two elements that are pretty controversial, but very good, especially for content creators or guild leaders. And also, you get some housing item. And voila, that's it for today. It was a long and detailed video, but I hope you have all the information you need for the release of Midnight, all little details. Now stay tuned because I will be doing a housing video and I really want to test thoroughly the new player experience and share that with you, because this is something I want to make my mission of a little bit. It's to introduce new players to World of Warcraft. It's such a good game, there's so much content, it has taken such a nice direction the last few years, so guys, join us if you have not already. It's not so intimidating, don't worry. You just need a nice community and nice people to get you in. Alright my friends, I hope that you are all doing wonderful and are super excited for the future of World of Warcraft. Thank you so very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like it, leave me a comment, share it with your friend and your community, and don't hesitate to see me live on Twitch TV if you want to interact directly with me or want to join me for my adventure. I do a lot of group content, maybe for beginner player or for more advanced player. So see you soon. You take care of yourself. Bye.